What if I told you that you have a 99.9935% chance of going to hell when you die? Yes, you heard me right. Hell, the place of eternal fire and torment, where you'll be punished for all your sins and mistakes, and where you'll never see your loved ones again. Sounds scary, right? Well, don't worry. It's not personal. It's just math. In this video, we're going to do some calculations together to find out the odds of going to heaven or hell after death. And spoiler alert, they're not in your favor. But before you freak out or click away, let me explain how we arrived at this number. And trust me, it's not based on any religious bias or propaganda. It's based on logic and facts. You see, there are many religions in the world today, and each one of them has a different idea of what happens after we die. Some of them believe in heaven and hell as two opposite and eternal destinations for the souls of the righteous and the wicked. Others believe in reincarnation as a cycle of birth and death until we achieve enlightenment or liberation. And some people expect nothingness at the end of our existence. Here's the thing, all these beliefs can't all be right. When you die, you can't go to Christian heaven and Hindu hell at the same time. That would be a contradiction. It seems obvious that there can only be one true religion that has the correct answer to the ultimate question: what happens after we die? This implies that other beliefs are wrong, and the people who follow them will suffer in hell unless they change their religions to the true one before they die. Can we know which one is the true religion? Is it possible to find out if we're following the right path or not? How do we know if we're going to heaven or hell? Well, that's what we're going to find out in this video, so buckle up and get ready for a mind-blowing journey into the afterlife. Before we get down to business and crunch numbers, we need to make some assumptions and simplifications. Let's face it, the world of belief is a complicated place. There are numerous religions out there, and they don't all agree on what happens after we die. There is no such thing as a standard concept of heaven and hell. Yes, some religions have a binary view of heaven and hell as two opposing and eternal destinations for the souls of the righteous and the wicked. However, there are also many traditions that view heaven and hell as temporary states of mind, or stages of spiritual growth. Some religions may have a simplistic view of heaven and hell, while others see them as consisting of multiple levels or layers. Even within the same religion, personal interpretations of the afterlife can vary. Did you know that 78% of European Catholics believe in heaven, while 66% believe in hell? Globally, the situation is no less puzzling. 74% of people believe in the existence of the soul, 71% in God, 56% in heaven, and 49% in hell. These statistics present quite a mismatch, don't they? Why do some people believe in heaven but not in hell? Some individuals may find the idea of heaven more appealing and comforting than the concept of hell, leading them to believe in one and not the other. Such views may be considered non-canonical or heretical within the boundaries of their chosen religion. Each of us could have unique interpretations or understandings of sacred texts and what heaven and hell mean. But regardless of the reasons behind these views, the fact remains: there is a great deal of uncertainty and disagreement about the existence and nature of heaven and hell. This problem makes our future calculations even more challenging. However, don't worry, we're not going to give up. To address this variety and complexity, we'll employ a broad and general definition of heaven and hell as any kind of afterlife that involves some form of reward or punishment for one's actions in this life. To embark on our mathematical journey to hell, we need to know how many religions there are today. Different studies may have different criteria and definitions of what counts as a religion. In this case, let's refer to one of the most popular online sources of knowledge, Wikipedia. It reports there are 4,200 religions in the world today. Roughly about 60% of them, or 2,500, have some concept of heaven and hell. With this in mind, only one out of these 2,500 religions can be true. The followers of the rest of them are destined for hell unless they convert to the true religion before they die. But wait a minute. We can't just forget about the religions that came before us. We have little knowledge of what the ancient and prehistoric people believed. Maybe they left no evidence or records of their faith. Maybe they kept their beliefs secret or isolated. Maybe they were absorbed or conquered by other religions. Maybe they faded from human memory. What if the real religion was among them, but it disappeared in history? What if it was destroyed by war or disease or nature? What if only one person had it and never told anyone else? If this is true, then regardless of our actions, we are all doomed to endure eternal pain and suffering. Unless by the will of God, a long-forgotten one and only true religion is revived by a Messiah. There is no need to give up or guess randomly. Logic and clues can help us make reasonable predictions. Our goal of finding out how many religions have ever existed is still achievable. Human language and culture will guide us on this journey. How? One way to understand religion is to look at how human culture, especially language, influences it. Language and culture shape how people express their religion or belief system, and how similar or different it is from others. Language and culture also affect how a religion or belief system changes or evolves over time, depending on factors like geography, environment, history, contact, innovation, and adaptation. Even today, there are many examples of such influence. Some languages have words or concepts that come from religious beliefs. Some religions use specific languages or scripts for their sacred texts or rituals. These connections help us estimate how likely it is to go to heaven or hell after death. The main factor in this task is the number of languages that humans have spoken throughout history, estimated at about 31,000. To account for the possibility that some languages may not have a unique religion, or that some religions may be shared by multiple languages, we multiply 31,000 by a factor of 0.5. This gives us an estimate of 15,500 religions that humans have practiced throughout history. We can now estimate that, just like we saw for modern times, about 60% of these religions believed in heaven and hell. This would mean that out of the 15,500 religions that ever existed, 9,300 religions had a concept of afterlife rewards and punishments. The rest, about 6,200 religions, or 40%, had no idea of heaven and hell at all. Only the true religion can ensure salvation for its followers, and it is hidden among thousands of alternatives. This means that the other 9,299 religions with concepts of heaven and hell are false, and their followers are doomed to hell, unless they switch to the true religion at some point during their lives. The 6,200 religions that have no concept of afterlife rewards and punishments are automatically false, and their followers are going to hell of the true religion without any hope as well. This is because they have no way of knowing whether they belong to the true religion or not, and they have no idea of salvation or damnation anyway. Based on this logic, we can calculate the probability of a person who ever lived going to heaven or hell as follows. There is one chance out of 15,500 to go to heaven, since there is only one true religion out of all of them. Its followers will go to heaven for sure. The chance of that for a random person is about 0.0065%. It is nearly the same chance as rolling a double six, 2 dice with 6 on each, 3 times in a row. And this is only if we assume that our random person would go to heaven only by choosing the right and only religion. If he follows the right religion but lives a sinful life without asking for forgiveness, then his chances of going to heaven will be even lower. As for the probability of a random person of going to hell, it is 15,499 out of 15,500, or about 99.9935%. But what if the true religion is not one of the 9,300 religions that have a concept of heaven and hell? What if the true religion is one of the 6,200 religions that have no idea of afterlife rewards and punishments? That would be even worse, wouldn't it? Because that would mean that we have no chance of going to heaven or hell at all. There is one final twist that could wipe out any last hopes of entering the heaven gates. What if the one and only true religion with the one and only heaven and hell has not yet been born? Or it was given not to humans but to other inhabitants of Earth, created in God's image? How can we be sure that dolphins are not the chosen ones, who have been communicating with God telepathically since ancient times? Maybe only dolphins have a chance to enter heaven after they die. What about us? We probably could not even dream of hell. But hey, let's be optimistic. Let's assume that humans are God's beloved children, and that one of the 15,500 religions that ever existed is the true one. That means we still have a 0.0065% chance of going to heaven. If you are worried or upset about the 99.9935% chance of going to hell, please don't. It's not something we can control. It's not personal. It's not our fault or mine. It's just a random lottery. An interesting fact about how many religions have existed and still exist. And above all, it's just math. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate any feedback you have. You can share your thoughts in the comment section below.